I never meant to start a war with my HOA. All I wanted was a bit of privacy and a spot where my dog could run free without turning the neighborhood into a poop-strewn spectacle. But then Linda, think of her as the self-appointed dictator of our homeowners association, charged onto my lawn like a general in a floral tracksuit, oversized sunglasses perched on her nose like radar dishes, wielding a clipboard as if it were a battle axe. That's when I knew I'd miscalculated. Not by building the fence, it was perfectly legal, complete with permits and board approval, but by assuming I could live quietly without her emerging from whatever cave she lurks in whenever someone dares to hang a wind chime or trim a shrub too boldly. She didn't bother with a greeting. Instead, she stormed up to my porch, jabbed her pin skyward like she was launching a holy war, and screeched, "This monstrosity comes down now." I stared, half expecting a reality TV crew to pop out and reveal this as some bizarre prank. The fence? 6 feet of pristine white VY nilneat, clean, HA sanctioned, backed by a signed letter I could wave like a flag. I had everything, receipts, plans, the works. But Linda, radiating the unearned confidence of a squirrel drunk on fermented apples, insisted her personal distaste trumped all EVY denke. "It blocks the VYEW, she hissed. "It's ruining the neighborhood's charm." I pointed out that at least 4 other fences stood on our street. She dismissed that with a theatrical snort. "Those don't offend the senses like yours does. Here's the kicker. Linda has no real authority. She was the HO president once, sure, but got booted last year after trying to fine a guy for a subversive lawn gnome. She never accepted the ousting, claiming a shadowy cabal rigged the vote. Since then, she styled herself as the neighborhood's exiled queen, enforcing her imagined reign over our quiet little corner. Most of us just tune her out and carry on. But now she'd zeroed in on me, and unluckily for her, I don't bow to petty tyrants. I told her calmly that unless she could show me a new rule, the fence wasn't budging. Her eyes narrowed to slits. "I'll take this to the board," she snapped, as if that was supposed to rattle me. "You'll regret crossing me." I smiled, not a smirk, a real smile, because that's when I decided, if she wanted a fight, I'd give her one. Not with shouting or formal complaints, but with something bolder, brighter, and unmistakably flamingo pink. As she huffed off down my walkway like a toddler denied a treat, I was already on my phone, struck by a VY sound so clear it felt heaven-sent. Plastic flamingos. Dozens. Hundreds, maybe? I didn't know the logistics yet, but I knew Linda's sanctimonious nonsense needed a ridiculous counterpunch, not cruel, not against the rules, just gloriously in your face. I scrolled lawn decor sites like a madman, flamingos in sunglasses, flamingos striking yoga poses, inflatable ones, glowing LED ones. Into the cart they went. My yard was about to become a shrine to spectacular spite. Revenge, even the fabulous kind, takes patience. While my flamingo army shipped, I played it cool, watering the grass, while VYing at neighbors, even smiling as Linda strutted by on her daily rounds, muttering curses like a low-rent sorceress. She'd stop sometimes, glaring at the fence like it had spat on her family crest. I knew she was scheming. Her clipboard was thickening with what I assumed were invented infractions for the next board meeting. But my secret weapon was en route, and I was ready to escalate with the finesse of a super VY lane and the flair of a festival float. 3 days later, the first box arrived. I tore it open like a kid on Christmas, revealing 10 pristine pink flamingos, their curved necks poised in silent judgment. I planted one, just one in the yard center, a lone sentinel radiating chaotic calm. No sign, no fanfare, just pure presence. Sipping coffee from my window, I waited. 3 hours later, the shriek came. Linda stood at my property line, pointing at the bird like it had crash-landed from Mars. She spun, trying to rally a passing neighbor, her voice hitting operatic highs. "It's starting. They're multiplying." The guy, walking his dog, gave a curt nod and bolted. She marched to my door, hammering the bell like she was exorcising a spirit. I opened it slowly, radiating calm. "Yes." She skipped pleasantries, ranting about HOA violations. I asked for the rule. She rifled through her clipboard, found nothing, and yelled, "It's implied. There's an unwritten code." I nodded. Until it's written, I guess it stays unwritten. I shut the door softly, Leah VYing her fuming. Outside, the flamingo stood firm, a quiet rebel. That night, under cover of darkness, I unpacked a second box. 9 more flamingos joined the first, forming a tidy squad, the flamingo front line. By morning, the war was on. Linda didn't fire the first shot with a bang, but with a flyer. I woke to find every mailbox stuffed with her manifesto. Emergency HOA alert. Neighborhood beauty under siege. It was peak Linda, overblown, self-righteous, and toothless. She called my flamingos a VY soul plague and warned that tolerating such tacky decor would unleash a wave of gnomes and neon lawn chairs. A blurry photo of my yard, red circles scrawled around the flamingos, accompanied her signature. Linda Grayson, HOA president. Problem was, she hadn't been president since her gnome-fueled downfall. The real president, Tom, a chill guy who mostly emailed about trash pickup, had taken over. But Linda clung to her phantom title like a lifeline. She didn't stop at flyers. Later, I caught her pacing my sidewalk, tape measure in hand, scribbling furiously. She'd squat, measure random patches near my flowers, then mutter like a conspiracy nut. Once she leaned over my line to snap a flamingo pic from a gotcha angle. I stepped out, leaning on my railing. Need better lighting? She whirled, startled, and glared like I'd offered her a slug sandwich. You think this is a joke? Kinda, I said. They're just flamingos, Linda. She jabbed a finger at my yard. This is a breach of standards. Show me the rule, I replied. She fumbled again, came up empty, muttered about setting a precedent, and flounced off like a soap opera diva. I thought that'd be eat a lull before her next salvo. I was wrong. 2 days later, an official-looking envelope hit my mailbox, sporting the real HA logo. Inside, a notice for an emergency meeting about unapproved aesthetic disruptions. Linda had roped Tom into this, though he'd scribbled a note. Sorry, man. She won't stop calling unless we let her vent. I went mostly for the show. The clubhouse was spar-folding chairs, a busted coffee maker, 20-odd neighbors split between curiosity and amusement. Linda burst in with a stack of papers and a photo album of my yard's crimes. She launched into a tirade about my fence and flamingos eroding our VY soul integrity and tanking property values. The room froze, teetering between laughter and concern. She slammed her photos down like a TV lawyer. This, pointing at a sunglass flamingo, isn't decor, it's an insult. Tom flipped through the HOA handbook, finding zilch. After 20 minutes of her escalating absurdity, he sighed. Linda, unless the flamingos start barking or biting, we're good. She gasped like he'd torched the Constitution, demanded a vote to exile me, got shot down and stormed out, slamming the door so hard a ceiling tile fell. I lingered, chatting with neighbors who admitted they loved the flamingos. An old guy said his grandkid adored them, a couple asked to add one. Linda's crusade had backfired, rallied people to my side. That night I planted one more flamingo, topping it with a tiny crown made from a bottle cap. It faced the street, a king among its flock. Morning came and Linda passed by. She didn't speak, just stared at the crowned bird, jaw tight, then marched off. I knew she wasn't done. She was regrouping. I still had 6 boxes in the garage and I was ready. It started smell a dozen, then 2 dozen, then the flamingo flood hit. Each morning I added more, 5, 10, some plain, some custom. Pirate flamingo with an eye patch, chef flamingo in an apron, firefighter flamingo with a mini hose. I named them in my head strategy, not just decor. They were my army. Kids loved it, parents grinned, dog walkers snapped pics. My yard hit a local Facebook group as suburban art, and soon I had fans cheering the flamingo uprising. I didn't argue, uprising fit. By week 2, I crossed 50 flamingos. Garden lights turned them into a glowing battalion at night. Linda unraveled. She stopped walking by, instead circling in her car, filming and narrating like a wildlife doc. Day 12. Subject: add sombrero flamingo, cultural disrespect suspected. I waved once, she peeled out. Neighbors said she'd started door knocking, begging them to report me. One guy said she accused him of collusion when he shrugged her off. Her big misstep? Calling the news. A van rolled up, tired reporter, cameraman, me watering amid 72 flamingos. They'd gotten a tip about an illegal display. I offered lemonade, did the interview IEW. That night's broadcast was a fluff piece. The Great Flamingo Feud. With neighbors praising my Creati VY tie. Linda's clip? Her ranting about property terrorism, binder flailing your comedy gold. It went viral, Twitter, TikTok, memes galore, the Free the Flamingos, auto-tuned remixes. My yard became a hotspot. Teens posed, a guy proposed there. Linda doubled down, called another meeting. Only Tom and a potluck hopeful showed. She ranted about zoning, noise, even live flamingos. Plastic doesn't move, Linda. Tom shut her down. Then she crossed the line, snuck into my yard, grabbed a flamingo, yelling into her phone, "I've got the leader." I stepped out, she froze, dropped it and ran. Doorbell cam caught it all. Online by noon, it exploded. Cartoon sound effects. Flamingo war cries dubbed in. Linda went from meme to legend. By week's end, I hit 100 flamingos. That night, friends helped me aim them all at Linda's house. See a pink semicircle, crown bird up front with a sign, "We see you." She vanished for 2 days. Too quiet. On day 3, a legal notice arrived, caps locked, eagle logoed, from Linda's nephew, a divorce mediator wannabe lawyer. It screamed voiceful assault and cease and desist. My college buddy, a real lawyer, wrote back, "Your client's case lacks merit and sanity." Delivered to her mailbox, her face soured reading it. Next, the HOA audited her. She'd too close to the line, unpermitted gazebo, off-code paint, rogue solar panels. Karma hit hard. Then Sheila, a retired planner, pitched a flamingo-themed block party. Permits secured, Flamingo Fest erupted, hats, vests, piñatas, bubbles. Linda stormed in, slapped a cookie from a kid's hand, shrieked, and fled when Sheila offered a balloon. Monday, the HOA banned her from leadership, unanimous. She listed her house, moved out stealthily. We partied again, freedom, champagne, the crowned flamingo on a pedestal. We remember Linda. Peace settled. Flamingos spread mailboxes, murals. New neighbors joined the legacy. Letters came, one from across the country. "Your flamingo war saved me." My flamingo's name is Vengeance. A teacher used it for CIVYCS, an artist sculpted it. I wrote it down, late nights, pink shadows dancing. A publisher, Calicud's book, The Flamingo Wars. One last party, no theme, just us. The crowned bird nodded. Linda was gone, and the bird stayed.